So I love to do this thing where I tell myself that my grocery bill is not necessarily my fault. I didn't come up with these prices. I didn't make a pack of Oreos $7. When did this happen? And I really did feel like I was doing my best. I have a grocery budget. I follow my list. I do all of the basic things that should help you save money on your groceries. But then I got on the internet and I started reading some articles and I started watching some videos, and I compiled a list of, I think there's over 25 different things on this list, and a lot of them I did not know about and I have never done. So let's not waste any time. Let's start saving some money on our grocery bill. Okay, so on this list, I have some things that you're gonna do at the grocery store, and I also have some things that you're going to do at home, and both of those combined are what's gonna help us save on our grocery bill. I'm so excited. Let's get into it. Okay, so I know you guys are ready with your paper and your pen, ready to write down the tips that I tell you that you've never heard of before and you're willing to try. If I tell you a tip that you already know and maybe you're already doing, that's okay. Just wait for the next one, because somebody out there needs to hear all of these tips. Number one, for some reason, Wednesday is the best day to go to the grocery store. This is when they put out their new circular ads, and this is when they've restocked the shelves. They've done all of the things. I'm not sure what it is about Wednesday with grocery stores, but I keep hearing across the board, Wednesday is the day. Number two, if you find an item that is about to expire, maybe in the next day or two, you can actually take that item to customer service and they will cut the price on the spot. I have not heard of this one, but I am definitely willing to try it. Number three, coupons. This one I'm not 100% sure about, because typically a coupon comes from a name brand manufacturer, and those products are going to be higher priced than your store brand anyway. But this is where I think coupons are a good thing. If you have a certain item that you only will eat it if it's name brand, and I'm gonna use Philadelphia cream cheese as my example. I am obsessed with Philadelphia cream cheese. I refuse to eat the store brand. I don't know why, but I feel like it has this glue-like consistency. I don't like it. So I stick with Philadelphia. If I saw a coupon for Philadelphia cream cheese, I would definitely clip that out. Number four, Aldi. That's all I'm gonna say. No, I'm kidding. Aldi is definitely a money saver. I unfortunately do not have one anywhere near me. I Googled it and Google Maps literally doesn't even know how to pick one up. That's how far away I am from an Aldi. But if you are lucky enough to have an Aldi within driving range, definitely go there. Their prices on produce, meat, and the staple items are by far the best. Aldi, Aldi, Aldi. Number five. This one I hear a lot, and I did know about it, but I was always a little opposed to it, and that is grocery pickup. Now I'm gonna tell you what's good about it, and I'm gonna tell you what I don't like about it. What's good about it is pretty much all the stores are offering it now. You usually have to spend a minimum of $35, and it is free to do. It'll really help you stay on your budget, because as you're adding items, you're seeing your running tab and you know exactly how much you're spending. And I feel like when you're in the comfort of your own home, you're sitting on your couch, you can shop for and maybe see those sale items a little bit easier. And this is what I don't like about store pickup: the produce. I feel like the produce and the meat that they choose for me probably isn't the one that I would have chosen. So I don't really like getting my produce and my meat for store pickup. But if I'm just gonna get some basic pantry items, sure, I would do grocery pickup. Okay, you guys, number six. This is probably my favorite tip that I'm gonna give you today, because I did not know about this, and I think this is probably going to be my biggest money saver at the grocery store. I love this one, you guys. I buy all organic. I buy anything I can find organic. Organic ketchup, organic raisins, organic in my house. But after a little bit of research, I found a website called EWG.org, and this stands for Environmental Working Group. And on this website, I found the Shopper's Guide to Pesticides in Produce. And they have this nifty little credit card sized list. One side has what they call the Dirty Dozen, and the other side has what they call the Clean 15. Now, apparently, the Clean 15 has a very low level of pesticides, and there is actually no advantage to buying these items organic.
What?
So when I went to the grocery store yesterday, I saw these organic green peppers. They were $1.99 each, a little pricey. And then I went over here to the non-organic, and they were on sale for $1 each. Double the price for the organic, but number 9 bell peppers are on the Dirty Dozen list. So I stuck with the organic. However, I went over to the avocados, and those currently, the organic ones were 2 for $5, and the non-organic were 10 for $10, $1 a piece. What a difference in price. And guess what, you guys? I was so excited when I saw that avocados is number 1 on the Clean 15. I am done buying organic avocados. Thank you, EWG, for this super helpful list. I cut this out, and here it is, and I will have this in my purse at all times. I'm hoping that eventually maybe I will get to memorize so I don't have to keep looking at it, but what a little gem this is. Money saver. Okay, number 7 is buying in bulk. This one most of us know about, toilet paper, paper towels, things that are pretty obvious. Buying them in bulk, you're typically going to save some money, but I am now taking Sam's Club just a little bit further. I am purchasing my non-perishable items and having them shipped. The shipping is free, the price is the same that is in the store, and it is keeping me out of the store, because we all know if I need dog bones for Uhtred, I'm not gonna run into Sam's Club and just buy those dog bones. I'm gonna come out with at least 5 or 6 more items. So if it's non-perishable bulk item that you get and you ran out, just have it shipped and stay out of the store. Okay, number 8. This one gets a little harder. I'm not gonna lie. I've never really done this one, but I'm going to try it. And it is start building your meals around what's on sale. This one scares me too, just a little bit. It seems a little harder, I know, but I did find online that there are websites. One is called Supercook and the other one is called Cookless. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I have not had time to look on either one of those websites yet, but they are the type of websites that you type in the ingredients that you wanna use and they will give you recipes for those ingredients. So that should be a big help if you're willing to try tip number 8. And just a little add-on for tip number 8, look for those markdown sections in the store. When I went to the store yesterday, I looked for those, and in my store, I only found a very small section of meat that was like 30% off on the packages, which is great, but they were cuts of meat that I don't really use. I looked in the bakery for one, I did not see one, and I also looked in the dairy section for one. I didn't see one there either, but your store might be a little bit better about those markdown sections than my local store is. So look for those. Number 9, certain times of the year are the best times to stock up on certain items. Okay, now this one I've heard before, but I have never found a list of all of these items by month. I found it. It's in the description below. It is a website called SundayPaperCoupons.com. There's tons of other stuff on there too, so definitely check this one out. But the best thing that I found on this website was this list. It also gives you non-food items as well. But for example, the best time to buy yogurt, soups, sodas, potato chips, oatmeal, mustard is in January, and they go through each month and they tell you what items are the cheapest during that month. And we are now on number 10. And number 10 is, do not let your food go bad. I know this one is easier said than done. We are all guilty of it, and you can't say you're not, because 40% of all food in America goes to waste. So we're all in this together. So over the last few years, I've actually gotten pretty good at not letting things go to waste. And here are some of the ways that I do that. The first thing I do is I like to freeze anything that I see is starting to go bad. And not everybody knows what they can freeze. I'm still learning things that I can freeze and can't freeze. I just found out you can't freeze mushrooms. Ugh. When I thawed them out, they were like mush. It was disgusting. So I don't know if there's some way to freeze mushrooms, but I haven't found it yet. But what I do freeze is bread, and that includes buns, bagels, tortillas. They freeze perfectly. You would never even know you put them in the freezer in the first place. Milk, that is a new one for me. You can freeze milk. Cheese, you can freeze. Cheese, you can freeze. I freeze peppers, bell peppers, green peppers. I freeze bananas for smoothies. I freeze blueberries and strawberries for wine. I use it basically as ice. You can freeze spinach. Now, what I found with spinach is I don't necessarily thaw it out. If I'm going to saute something or I'm gonna make a casserole, I just put it in there frozen and it's fine, but you're not gonna be able to eat it fresh like in a salad. It turns very mushy. The other way that I make sure I'm not wasting my food is I have veggie nights. I'm almost strictly vegetarian, so I have a veggie night almost every night, but you don't have to be a vegetarian to have veggie night in your house. Who doesn't like grilled cheese and tomato soup? That is one of my all-time favorite meals. But if you're finding that you've got mushrooms, onions, peppers, spinach, tomatoes, zucchini, any of that is going bad in your fridge, you could do a veggie pizza. I always have one of these containers of the Pillsbury pizza dough in my fridge ready to go for these times. I saute everything up in the skillet and I throw it on that pizza dough, and it's a double whammy. Not only do I have an easy dinner night, and we all love those, but I've used up all of my leftover veggies. Another great way to get rid of a bunch of veggies that are hanging out is to throw them in some spaghetti sauce and let them simmer. You could do veggie fajitas or tacos. Veggie subs are always good. You could just make a great big salad. When I do that, I like to put maybe a hard-boiled egg or some grilled chicken in there, so it's just not so salady. If I've got a bag of potatoes that I need to use up, potato soup is my go-to for that. For some reason, carrots and celery are always going bad right about the same time in my crisper, so I like to do homemade chicken noodle soup, or maybe I will throw a roast in the crock pot and just throw the carrots and celery and potatoes and even mushrooms all in the crock pot with the roast. Another recipe that I like to get rid of mushrooms is this wild mushroom soup. It is so good. It is one of my all-time favorites. Okay, number 12 is to go through your weekly ads, write down the items that you purchase consistently, and compare prices from multiple stores. Now, this one I have never done before, and I don't know if it was necessarily something that needed to be done, but I will say that now I definitely want to try this one out because I don't even know the prices of anything anymore. If you would have asked me a few years ago how much something was, I probably would have been pretty close to the actual price, the actual retail price. But now I'm kind of clueless. I see things that I am just floored by how much they cost now. I mentioned the Oreos that are $7 now. I feel like they were $3 a few years ago. My daughter used to always want Oreos, and I don't remember ever paying $7 for a bag of Oreos. I wouldn't have purchased them. So anyway, I am definitely behind on the prices. I think they're a lot lower than they actually are. So I would like to do this one to get familiar with today's actual prices. Number 13, download store apps for the digital coupons. This is another one that I have never done before, but I am gonna try it. I downloaded Safeway's app. It is the store closest to me that I go to most often. I don't really have a Walmart close to me. I have to go about 35 minutes to a Walmart. So Safeway is my closest store. So anyway, I downloaded their app and they have digital coupons. And I guess what happens is when you are at the register and you type in your rewards phone number, it automatically picks up the coupons that you have clipped in the app. So you don't really have to do anything when you're at the store, which is great. You don't even have to remember. So I just went through and clipped the ones that I know I use those items, and I'm hoping that next time I buy them, it'll pick it up and give me the discount. So try that one out, and I'll let you guys know how that one goes for me. Number 14, this one was a little surprising for me. This one is by store brand. I thought everybody bought store brand. I don't know. I've really never bought all name brand stuff. Very few things like the Philadelphia cream cheese I mentioned earlier. I buy mostly store brand stuff, but apparently a lot of you don't like store brand. I hope that you will change your mind and try some store brand stuff because the price difference is pretty significant. Let me give you an example of one. So broth, this is a big one. If you notice, the store brands are showing $6.49 when they are not on sale. Some of them are $3.99, but the store brand is actually $3.09. That is a significant price difference from the $6.49. And if you want to take it a little bit further on this particular item, we have these little jars of bouillon, and this is actually what I use. I've been using this for quite some time. They are $8.99 a jar. You mix it with water, but these last forever, and it is so much cheaper than buying these cartons of broth. If the $8.99 is still just a little too much for you, they always have these little bouillon cubes here for $2.99. They are not quite as convenient because you do have to mix those with boiling water. So they take a little time, but the effort is definitely worth it. And honestly, you guys, in the store, pretty much every item has a generic next to it. Just try a few of them and see if you like it or if you even notice a difference. It will save you a ton of money. This is probably one of the biggest money savers that I'm giving you today. Step out of that comfort zone and try some generic stuff. And number 15, this one is pretty interesting. Look above and below on the shelves for the best prices. If you look at eye level, that is considered prime real estate in the grocery store, and name brands, back to the name brands, they pay a premium price to be placed at your eye level. If you look above or below those, you are going to get cheaper prices. And I'd like to use spaghetti sauce to show you guys this one, because if you look here at eye level at Rouse, everybody's favorite, it is $10.99 when it is not on sale. But if you start to go down, you notice 2 for $7, 3 for $5, and we can go all the way down to $1.99 a jar. Another one that I noticed yesterday was the oatmeal. The Quaker, which is the name brand here, is $5.49 when it is not on sale. The store brand is $3.99, but you could even take it a step further and go all the way down here to the bottom shelf, and you can get this big 2-pound container for $4.99. This will last forever. A little side note, when you just buy plain oats like this, is that you can add real fruit to your oatmeal, and that is another way to make sure that your fruit in the fridge does not go bad. Add it to your oatmeal. Okay, number 16 is buy untrimmed meats. I think most of us do buy boneless, skinless, everything. Try the ones that have the fat on them that you have to cut off yourself, and the bone in is always going to be a little cheaper. Number 17, I like this one. This one is use a calculator and round up on every item when you're in the store. So if an item is $3.79 and you're upcharging it to $4 and you do that throughout your entire grocery trip, by the time you're done and you're at the checkout line, you will probably have an extra 10, 15, maybe 20 bucks at the end of your trip, and you could roll that over into next week's grocery budget. And number 18 is organize your pantry. I place the same items in the same spot every time I come home from the grocery store, and this keeps me from over purchasing when I'm at the store, so I don't have 3 or 4 of the same item, and it keeps me from running out of things. When I see that I'm starting to run low, I go over to my refrigerator where I keep my running tab, and that is number 19. Get one of these magnetic notepads. I got mine from the Dollar Tree. Put it on the side of your fridge and just instruct the entire family. When you see that we're running low on something or you've used the last bit of something, write it on the list, and that takes us to number 20. You should have a list when you go to the grocery store. I kept hearing this tip over and over again, and I wasn't quite aware that a lot of you guys go to the grocery store without a list. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have a meal plan in place. Meal planning isn't for everybody, but you should at least have some sort of plan when you're going to the grocery store. The list is probably going to be your number one defense against overspending while you're in there. Number 21, when you are making dinner, try to add a little bit more and have a couple extra servings. That way you can pack that in your lunch the next day. Jason takes leftovers pretty much every single day, and this saves us on eating out, and it is using up the food that we've purchased from the grocery store. Nothing's going to waste. And speaking of not wasting, number 22, create a little zone in your refrigerator for leftovers and for things that need to be used before they start going bad. I was a waitress for quite some time, so I was very privy to the FIFO rule, the FIFO, first in, first out. And if you keep a little section in your refrigerator just for those things, it eliminates items getting pushed back into your refrigerator and forgotten about. And number 23, this is the last one, and this is my absolute favorite, and I feel like this is the number one money saver, the pantry challenge. I think a lot of times we don't realize how much food we actually have in our homes, and we keep buying more and bringing more in, and then the old stuff gets wasted. Do a pantry challenge and really push yourself to utilize what you already have. I've been working on a pantry challenge for a few weeks, and I have more money in my grocery budget stacked up than I have had in a very long time. So it is exciting to see things that have been in my pantry for a while are gone, and at the same time, I'm saving a ton of money. And I hope that maybe you got a few new ideas that you were going to try out with me. I know I'm going to be trying quite a few of these, and I've already implemented some of them. And I want you guys to comment 2 things for me in this video. First, I want you to comment which one of these tips was a new one for you and that you might want to try out. And second, I want you to share one of your own tips that I didn't say. We could all use the help. If you're new to Two Sister Bees, now is the time to subscribe, like, comment, share, all of the things that the YouTube algorithm loves so that this video can get pushed out for more people to find. As always, stick around and keep watching Two Sister Bees.